What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. And my apologies on the timeliness of this video. I guess better late than never. But nonetheless, SoFi did go up 2.84%, 1478 the low, 1536 the high. A lot of good volume though. So for 36.4 million shares being traded, 42.7 is the average. There was some abnormal transactions on the dark pool that I do want to bring up, signaling big money definitely was getting into SoFi today. But what really moved the market was relatively good data. And so we do, on a side note, have retail sales coming out on Friday. So that could really reconfirm this good momentum that's in the broader market. And at the same time, you have a lot of people saying and really wanting SoFi to squeeze and really move higher. A lot of stocks have ran up significantly today, and many of them are heavily shorted. Just somehow SoFi didn't really participate in that. And even over the last 48 hours, you've seen a lot of fintechs really run up post earnings. So I think it is somewhat at the same time rather frustrating to be a SoFi investor, only because post earnings they went down, as you can kind of see right here, 10.27%, 3 days after 10.77, 2 weeks after 16.8. But yet SoFi has the same pretty much percentage gains growth as a lot of these other fintechs, but SoFi just randomly goes down. So it is a frustrating stock. But today there was no news, no SEC filings associated to SoFi. Shorts did increase 52,000 shares today. 11.69% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 125.89 million shares. Cost to borrow minimum is negative 0.22, so still that one broker trying their very best to drum up some business, but hopefully smarter minds will prevail. But again, like I mentioned, a lot of people are calling for SoFi to have a squeeze, and I think on the technical standpoint it is very close to really getting over some very key resistance levels. And if that does happen, it might signal that SoFi is ready for a breakout. And I'm gonna kind of talk on what is really prompting it and has been really suppressing it for the most part. But going over here, you did have a lot of money getting into SoFi through options, 26 million in calls, 3.16 in puts. Just right here, so between 12:55 and 1, there was 7.6 million in premiums. And then the 5 minutes after that, so between 1 and 1:05, 7.5 million. So big money definitely was getting in. Looking overall, 29 million in total premiums, 15 the other. And I know I go through this relatively fast. I'm looking at this column right here on a side note. Even looking at the put slash call ratio right here, very good. So still a good amount of optimism. Of the call options that were purchased today, you see consensus for it to be roughly around that 1650 and then 18 for next week. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub 14. So still a little bit more upside anticipated. With tomorrow being Friday, just take note of some of the open interest. And so we've seen sometimes shorts get a little bit active if SoFi does get close to some of these strike prices. So at that $15 strike, you have 11,000. At the 1550, 17,000 and 20,000 at that 16. So once again, something just to potentially keep in mind. But aside from that though, these are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. Couple buys, very good buys in fact. So 2.1, 5.3 million, and all and basically a lot of this right here, that stem of buying prompted this nice push out. So kind of interesting day, very volatile. So you have all over the place for the most part, but I think in reality it is kind of following the technicals. But quickly going over to the dark pool, this is what I wanted to bring up. There was a 10.6 million transaction, 3.5, 15.5 million. So that is a very good sign that big money was buying. And the reason why I know it's a buy, because dark pool is very gray, anonymous, and blah blah blah, is if you look at the transactions before and after what happened, if typically the price it went for goes up, then you'd know it was a buy. So previously it was at 15.17 and it went to 15.18. So again, signaling that someone really wanted to buy. And who that is, unfortunately, being done through the dark pool, it does stay anonymous. But aside from that, with it at $15.19, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 15.12 is going to be that next strong support. 15.53 is going to be that next strong target / resistance. So if it is able to get above this R1, then this is where, once again, you could see a very nice breakout and potentially prompting a squeeze, similar to many other stocks that happened today. So yeah, it's just it's going to be a fun ride. So let me know your viewpoint on SoFi. One thing I do want to share with you though is I did recently move some money over, made a brand new portfolio. The only thing I have right now is I just bought it today was Celsius, but I'm going to be starting to add a lot more transparency. So I'm going to be showing all of my transactions on this channel. And so hopefully you guys get some benefit. I do have other YouTube channels. To be honest, I probably have way too many YouTube channels and also way too many portfolios. So I have roughly around 8 different portfolios, and it's all part of my mental madness because each kind of broker gives me a certain benefit. Like 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗚, for instance, has a lot of tools that I like and blah, blah, blah. So nonetheless though, other YouTube channels I have shown my portfolios, just never really under this one, because I guess I don't know why it just hasn't really fitted with just me ranting about the data points and stuff. But going forward, I'm going to be starting to give updates and show long positions, options, and what I'm doing. So hopefully you guys can get some utility and some benefit out of that, or maybe just enjoy whatever the roller coaster that we call investing. So let me know your thoughts. Give yourself a shout out if you did buy SoFi, if you sold, if you think it's going to squeeze. Let me know in the comments below. One final thing, if you're looking for buy signals, pop over to my Patreon where I give buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.